Hey guys, day 2 for pyramids. So we're just going to jump right into the example. So just recall what we talked about yesterday in terms of nets of pyramids, and we have a new dimension which is the slant height of a pyramid. Okay, so example 1 says find the indicated values. If the perimeter of the base is 16 square roots of 2 units, find the height. Okay, so let's think about the base. So the base here is a square. And we know the perimeter is 16 square roots of 2. Think about what that will lead us to. That leads us to the dimensions of the base. Okay, and we need the dimensions of the base in order to find the height. Ultimately, we want to find that, what the height is. Okay, well, if it's a square and the perimeter's 16 square roots of 2, if we divide that by 4, then that means the dimensions of the base are 4 square roots of 2. Okay. Well, look at the base, the inside of the base. So we have the height. We know the slant height is 9, and we need this length in order to find the height. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw this triangle. Okay, I know the slant height is 9, it's that dimension. We need to figure out what the height is. Well, think about this square. If this dimension is 4 square roots of 2, then half of that's got to be 2 square roots of 2. Notice we have a right triangle where we know 2 lengths, so we can figure out the height by using the Pythagorean theorem. So 2 square roots of 2 squared plus h squared is equal to 9 squared. 2 square roots of 2 squared is 8, and 9 squared is 81. Then subtract 8 from both sides, we get h squared is 73. Then we take the square root of 73, so the height is square root of 73, or 8.544 units. It's kind of like a puzzle. You got to keep digging until you can get to the answer. All right, let's look at number 2. Simple number 2 says we have a square pyramid that has base edges of 10 and lateral edges of 13. Find its slant height. Okay, so the first thing we are going to want to do is label the parts that we know. We know the base edges are 10, so that's 10, that length's 10. It's a square pyramid. And the lateral edge is 13. Okay, find its slant height. So the lateral edge would be these edges. So that's 13, that's 13, all those are 13. And we want to know what the slant height is. So we want to know that height right there, that slant height. So one of the things that you probably want to do when possible is, when you have a 3-dimensional figure, is take the 2-dimensional part that we need the dimension for. Okay, so that we can simplify it. So I'm going to draw a triangle here. Okay, and I know this is 13 and this is 10, so it would represent a lateral face. And I want to figure out what that slant height is. Well, since this is an isosceles triangle, then the height of that isosceles triangle, which is slant height, bisects that base edge. So this becomes 5. So again, we have a Pythagorean theorem to solve for that third side. We have a right triangle. So we have 5 squared plus slant height squared would equal 13 squared. 5 squared is 25. 13 squared is 169. Subtract 25 from both sides. We get slant height squared is equal to 144. Take the square root. Slant height is 12 units. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to talk about lateral area of pyramids. Okay, so just like lateral area of prisms, it's the area of the lateral faces, or by definition, the sum of the areas of the congruent triangular lateral faces. The congruent triangular lateral faces. So with prisms, the lateral faces were rectangles, and to get the lateral area, we found the area of the rectangles and added them up. For pyramids, the lateral faces are triangles. So we're going to find the area of the congruent triangles and add them up. Okay. So let's look at example 3. It says find the lateral area of the square pyramid below. Okay. So even though the dimensions look very similar to the last one, it's not exactly the same. Not exactly the same. Okay. So we have a square pyramid. That means there's going to be 4 lateral faces. In each lateral face, it looks like this triangle where the base edge is 10 and the height of the triangle, which is also the slant height, is 13. So as you recall, we find the area of a triangle by multiplying the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle and dividing by 2. So the area of this triangle is going to be 10 times 13 divided by 2. Do the arithmetic and you get 65. So each lateral face has an area of 65. Okay, 4 lateral faces. So 65 times 4, which is 260, gives us the lateral surface area of the pyramid, which is 260 square units. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and go on to example 3. Okay, when you're finished, play the video and check your answers. So hit pause now. Okay, check your answers. So notice the first step was we needed the lateral height, or not the lateral height, the slant height of the lateral face. Okay, so I know that this distance, half of the base edge, is 6. So I drew a right triangle where the height of the pyramid's 8, and this base of this triangle is 6, and then I could find the slant height using the Pythagorean theorem. The slant height is 10. Okay, then I drew another triangle that represents the lateral face, where we have the base edge is 12 and the lateral height or slant height is 10. Find the area of that triangle, base times height divided by 2. So one lateral face has an area of 60. There's 4 lateral faces, so 60 times 4 gives us 240 square units. That's lateral surface area. Okay, so hopefully this is a pretty easy lesson, not a whole lot here, just recognizing the patterns. So go ahead and start on your assignment, and it will be due Monday when you come to class. See you guys on Monday.